This is the March edition of Home Renewable Electricity, or a year in the life. Things are going along quite well. The output is getting quite regular, and the battery state of charge is very even now, which is brilliant. As the days are getting longer, even though they might not be good generating days, the amount of panels we've got and the day length means that we're keeping up with consumption, which is brilliant. Anyway, on this edition we've got some improvements in the system. We've got the VLC V20 charge controller in place, and there's a video about that little unit. I did it, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or something, so it's worth watching if you've not already seen it, because it's a voltage sensing timer relay. Very, very handy, very cost effective. And then the other thing, of course, is the storage heaters. Now, Alan, who you've met on the watermill videos, and if you've not seen those videos, it's worth going to have a look, because we've used a high voltage permanent magnet generator from a wind turbine in conjunction with a solar grid tie, and they work very nicely together. So there are 3 videos there. If you've not seen it, have a look. Everything's working well. I'm trying not to show the best of everything. I'm trying to show a broad spectrum of what's going on, just to give you an idea. So I've been working with this system for quite a long time, so you get so used to it. So what I'm trying to put over is what it's like. Alan, of course, has his own YouTube channel, and there's some Stirling engines on there, and a lot about live steam, 5" and 7 1/4. So if you're interested, go and have a look at that as well. It's up here on the screen. I'm just going to zoom in for a moment, but it was Alan who started off this storage heater idea, saying we're wasting power. And of course, the more panels you've got, which of course has happened fairly recently, like this decade, the more panels you have, then the more it becomes apparent that you start to throw away serious amounts of power. So Alan was saying we need to do something about it. He came up with a storage idea, then we worked together on what elements you're going to put in there, because they're obviously running at a lower voltage than the standard one. So we worked on that one together, but he started the process. But I'll show you his YouTube channel now. It's a beautiful morning. It's just after 8:30, mid-March. Absolutely brilliant. So there we are, about 40 amps, something like that, and the voltage is creeping up. I assume the batteries will be fully charged quite shortly. Middle of March, just before 9 o'clock in the morning. As we can see, stage 1 is activated, and so is stage 2. So let's just have a look at the stecker. It's showing 11 odd amps, and if you see, it's B, bottom row, just next to 58.6 volts there's a B, which means it's on boost at the moment. I think it must be on boost for 200 minutes, something like that, and then it goes back to float. So there you can hear it, pulse width modulating. So this is on the same day, and it is 12 o'clock, and everything's working as it should do. When the stecker changes from boost to float, its voltage will lower. So effectively what's happening is stage 1 of the divert controller switches panels off. If the voltage goes up further, stage 2 switches off, and then the stecker is controlling stuff, and when the voltage has risen sufficiently for a long enough time for it to change from boost to float, then it controls the voltage at a lower voltage. Seems to work. And so that one there, the mound array, is controlled by stage 2, and it's switched off at the moment. And this one, the trailer and the boom, they are both connected to the storage heater. So when the charge controller comes on, it diverts power to the storage heater. So those two, the boom and the trailer, are connected together on their divert contacts, and that wire there behind the trailer amp meter is the wire that goes to the storage heater. So let's just see how much current it's drawing. It's drawing 11.1 amps, and because those panels are open circuit, that means that the batteries aren't holding the voltage down, so therefore we're diverting 11 amps at 67 volts. So that's about 840 watts. Not quite, but about. And here's one of the storage heaters. There's the temporary power in. And these are a clue to what's going on. I'll do a video about resistance and current and the relationship between that and voltage. But these modified heating elements will run on comparatively low voltage DC, i.e. 60 volts. It's the 22nd of March, about early afternoon. It's grey. see there, it was a bit sunnier this morning, but let's just see what the output is. There's no visible sun. Let's just turn round. You see there's no visible sun. So there's no wind at all, so the turbine's stock still, but we're on 10 amps and the voltage 51. But it was reasonably sunny yesterday, but pretty grey today, odd little bits. Let's just see what the specific gravity is like. There we are, it's on the edge of the green, so I'd say it was fully charged, which is great. So we're really keeping up with things. And whilst we're here, let's look at the slave battery, because I changed this a while ago. So let's just see what the specific gravity is. So there we go. It's on between the white and the red, so that's not good. So obviously consumption is greater than charging. So let's have a look at the charge bulb, which is up here. Now can we see? There we go, 60 watt 110 volt bulb. So I think we need to put a 100 watt bulb in there, just to up the current a bit. So I've changed it for another bulb. The previous 60 watt 110 volt bulb had a resistance of 28 ohms. Well, this one here, I think it's a 100 watt one, it has a resistance of 16 ohms. So let's just see what the current is with the clamp meter. Let's just zero that scale out. .4 of an amp. Let's just try it with that other bulb, the original bulb. 60 watt 110 volt bulb. Zero that out. That's between 2 and 2. That's 0.2 of an amp. So using the other bulb, we're doubling the charge. And let's see how we get on with the slave battery now. I'll check it in a couple of weeks' time. It looks like it's got slightly brighter outside, so whilst we're here, let's just look at the charge current again on the solar, and it's gone up to 15. That's not bad for a very grey day. It's bank holiday Monday, it's blowing a gale and it's pouring with rain. Now it is 10:21. This is British summertime, so 2 days ago this would have been 9:21, which then we would have been on Greenwich Mean Time over the winter. So hours sort of are a bit irrelevant in some cases. Anyway, the turbine's going quite well, and hopefully, although I'm not sure, you should be able to hear the wind in the background. So let's have a look just what's happening. I'm assuming the turbine will be up there about 20 amps, something like that, fluctuating around that, and the solar will be next to nothing because it's as grey as a grey thing. So yesterday a front came over and it was fair middling strong winds for a couple of hours. Otherwise we had patches of sun and grey cloud and this and that, but the charge controller came on, so the batteries were in fairly good state. So let's have a look what's happening today. As I thought, the solar's about 7, but it really is tipping it down, and the wind fluctuating all over the place. It's interesting to note that there we go, up to 40. Whenever you get it blustery, it never stays very steady. Yes, interesting to note, we haven't had the backup charger on since January, and that's when it was just grey and not much wind, not a lot going on apart from a lot of rain. Things are improving and the days are getting longer. We've just gone past the equinox, which is halfway between shortest day and longest day. It can only get better, but only for a while.